struggles finding and holding employment, as well as how hard it is to live as an underemployed Philadelphian. I was a long-term associate for Walmart. I worked there as a cashier for 3 years, at least until May 30th, 2010, when I was fired. First, allow me to explain why I was fired and what happened. Right around February 2010, I started to experience health and family issues that made it hard for me to work. It was due to 2 deaths in my family that I began to suffer from depression. At that time, I was living with my mother and her husband. I did not get along with my stepfather. When I noticed how things were going for me, I asked for a leave of absence, but I was denied. I was left with no choice but to call out from work. And as a result of my calling out, my hours got cut from 40 hours a week to 20. At that point, I couldn't pay my rent, and my stepfather asked me to move out. My situation got worse, and I began to call out more and more, and I felt like no one wanted to help me. In the beginning of May 2010, my friend said, "Tina, I have a place in Longcrest, and you can stay in my basement. I only want $300 a month." I thought to myself, this is great. I can get my life under control. I began to pack. May 30th, 2010 is when my life took a turnaround for the worse. I went to work that day just to get fired. They let me go due to my attendance. I was so frightened because I began packing and was just about to move into my own place for the first time as an adult, and now I was jobless and broke. I talked to my landlord about my situation, and he suggested I apply for food stamps and unemployment. He told me he would work with me until I got back on my feet. I moved in my new place and was approved for both the food stamps and unemployment, but I only got $196 a week in unemployment and $200 a month in food stamps. And this may sound like great news, but it's far from that. The past 2 years of my life have been a major struggle. I spent them 2 years searching for a new job, but kept coming up with nothing. It sometimes felt like work in itself. Then just around the beginning of this April, I was called to Toys R Us as a part-time cashier making only $7.80 an hour and only working 10 hours a week. Instead of having a good paying job, making good money, and paying my own taxes, I have no other option but to live off of other people's taxes. And because of this job, and the little bit of money I am making, I got cut off the food stamp program. I can ask for more hours, but they're not available. So it's a catch-22. I either work and pay rent, or I eat. To remind you, without food in my stomach, I have no energy to work. And I want to also share with you that just this morning I had gotten a phone call from my school saying they have an outstanding balance of $470. My loans didn't cover that, and I have no idea how I'm going to pay that. And the real struggle for me, my home really is a concrete basement with trash picked row rugs. My refrigerator and freezer are completely empty, and I have no food. And during the winter, it's really cold, and during the summer, it's extremely hot in my place, and I can't do anything about that. I can't live elsewhere because I have no money to do so. And the meals for which I do eat are microwavable, for I have not had a home-cooked meal in a long time. And in order to have a home-cooked meal, I must eat at somebody else's house. The bed I lay my head down at night is a trash-picked couch, and the clothes I put on my body is from the dumpster. I learned that living this way, wearing clothes from the dumpster, eating raw ramen noodles, and sleeping on a trash-picked couch is the only way for me to live, because I can't find a good job, and I have no money. This may be hard and uncomfortable for most people to live like this, but this is my life and my only way of living. I live like this to stay alive, but I don't want to just stay alive. I want to thrive. And I can't thrive without access to good jobs. City Council members, will you work with me and everyone here tonight to make sure Philadelphians like me can get good jobs? Will you make sure we are doing more than just staying alive? Will you work to make sure Philadelphians will thrive once again?